Hey, what's going on? My name's Dan Giesing, and welcome to an Elite Dangerous opinion video. There's been a lot of buzz in the air about Elite Dangerous lately, most recently when aliens were discovered in-game in a natural organic environment. You saw Elite Dangerous grab the headlines for a day or two on a lot of popular gaming blogs and news sites. Personally, I've always messed around with Elite Dangerous, logging, hours here and hours there, but have never really turned the corner and jumped all in and play it on a regular basis. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. One, I think the largest criticism of the game is the fact that it feels empty. In particular, when you're playing by yourself. And I even went one step further, and we did a little bit of a co-op series with Bear Taffy, and we had some fun with it. But even then, I still felt like I really like the concept of this game. I just haven't bought into the gameplay and haven't had a ton of fun playing it. And while a criticism to that may be, hey, Dan, you never put enough time into it to really engage yourself in it and understand the inner workings of it. And to that, I'd say you're probably right. But now with a recent live stream, in particular, two major things that just were announced and more importantly, shown in greater detail on a Frontier live stream, it may be time to turn the corner for Elite Dangerous. In what may be the biggest anticipated update for a lot of Elite Dangerous players, and maybe Elite Dangerous players like myself waiting on the sidelines to really get in, they've introduced two new major features into the game that is a cause for a lot of excitement. The first thing is they've introduced customizable avatars, everything down from nose character creation, hair, color of uniform. It's really an impressive feat in the level of detail that they've shown off in their character creator. And the big gameplay element a lot of people have been waiting for in Elite Dangerous that I think is really going to serve the game very well is multi-crew capability, especially in a universe that can seem empty or lonely at times. I think the way that they're going to introduce multi-crew gameplay is pretty special and really smart in terms of ease of use. It is worth noting all the footage I'm using in regards to multi-crew gameplay was taken from a recent live stream from Frontier when all they did was showcase the elements of multi-crew gameplay. If you've ever tried to squad up or join up with a friend in Elite Dangerous, you know it's probably a daunting task in terms of where you guys have spawned. And if you spawned on opposite ends of the galaxy, it could take a very long time to join up and play together. And that's just how Elite Dangerous has been in the past in terms of how their wing update and their way that you can join up in a squadron. However, with the new multi-crew capability being introduced into the game, it's instant join. And so the barrier to entry for a lot of beginner players in Elite Dangerous, or maybe Elite Dangerous players who don't have the patience to jump from one end of the system to another to join up with a friend, I think this is going to welcome a lot of newer players to the game, myself included. And while the ability to instant join your crew may upset some hardcore Elite Dangerous players, I think for the greater good or the greater whole of a lot of players, it's going to be engaging and it's going to draw a lot of people to the game just to try out the multi-crew aspect of this game. In terms of how they have multi-crew set up, the way it's worked out is you assign different players to different roles on your ship. The three main roles being helm, or the main control of the ship, gunners, or fighters. In Elite Dangerous, some ships have the ability to launch fighters from a larger ship. If you're coming from Star Citizen, think of launching a Merlin from a Connie, which we can't do yet, but soon at some point we will. So there's three main roles in the multi-crew aspect of Elite Dangerous. And in a smart fashion, Frontier has developed multi-crew in a way that prevents griefing and trolling. So once people join your ship, you set a planned activity for everyone. It's everything from bounty hunting to piracy, from mentoring new players to mining, exploring, and even smuggling. And within each one of those activities or missions that you set for your crew, there's a set of rules that say, hey, if you do this on this ship, aka, create a wanted level or whatever, you will be removed. So there's rules built into each one of those activities that prevents players from griefing one another, which I think is really smart, right? So it's not going to be perfect. The multi-crew isn't going to be an open-ended, hands-off experience from Frontier's standpoint, but I think for the greater good, or for a lot of new players, it's going to make it worthwhile to jump in and explore with friends, especially if you don't have a lot of experience in the game. Along with this 2.3 patch, you're also going to have the ability for the first time to have a third-person camera view of your ship. And once again, this may upset some of the hardcore Elite Dangerous players that say, hey, Dan, it's supposed to be first-person only. Well, I think this makes sense. There's a lot of detail in terms of how they have set up the gunners of the turrets and the different indicators on the HUD that allows the captain of the ship to steer it in a way which they can help put the turrets in a position to be successful that would be very difficult to do otherwise without a third-person camera view. In terms of Elite Dangerous, I've always wanted to have a new reason to come back and try out the game and give myself a chance to jump in and truly immerse myself in it and really start to enjoy it like so many people have. And I think with the introduction of customizable avatars and the multi-crew ship capability, I think this is that time once again, and it's been such a unique relationship, if you want to say a relationship between a game and a channel. You know, I primarily play Star Citizen on this YouTube channel, but Elite Dangerous has always been kind of floating out in the back of my head, and it's always difficult to compare the two. People say, Dan, can you compare Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen? And it's really not the same thing. When I started to conceptualize Elite Dangerous as a open world survival game as opposed to this massive MMO with thousands of interactions between players, it started to make sense a little bit more in terms of the expectations. Maybe not from an understanding standpoint, but from mitigating expectations for this game. And while the introduction of multi-crew ships is going to allow me to have some unique ways to have fun in the game besides exploring on a solo basis, it's really encouraging to see how much time Frontier is taking to continually develop Elite Dangerous. And when I was watching a live stream, it just presents itself in a way that makes you want to try it again. And while it may not be perfect, and I know the beta is coming out sometime next week to try out the multi-crew ships, and it may end up not being a good fit for me or this channel, but I can't help but always keep an eye on Elite Dangerous and want to check it out because it presents, I think, the thing that we all look for in space games, and that's the ability to control our own ship and explore and kind of make our own way or make our own destiny within the game. And it's so funny to me to have two really good options or two great options in development between Star Citizen and Elite Dangerous. And while Star Citizen may not be your cup of tea and Elite Dangerous may not be your cup of coffee, I think between the two, it's safe to say that it's a great time to be a space sim fan because there's a lot of fun things happening, a lot of exciting things happening in both Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen. I've been looking for a reason to jump back in and try Elite Dangerous in some capacity for the channel, and I think with 2.3, now is going to be that time. As a self-proclaimed, relatively novice Elite Dangerous player, I know there's a lot of great Elite Dangerous content creators on YouTube. If there's any in particular that you think would make for an interesting multi-crew scenario to collaborate with, let me know, because I'm going to reach out to some of them, but let me know some of your favorite Elite Dangerous content creators in the comments below. Tag them if you can, and I'll reach out to a few of them. It doesn't matter the size of the channel. I just would like to play with someone who knows a lot more about the game than myself. I think it would be a lot of fun to be the second or third in command under a commander in Elite Dangerous who knows a lot about the game. Not only from a standpoint where I can just be a cog in the wheel or squad up, but also learn, right? I feel like the same thing with Star Citizen. There's a lot of new players that have joined, and I'm not saying I'm the most experienced Star Citizen player of all time, but it helps. The best way to learn a complex game like Elite Dangerous or Star Citizen is to play with someone who's been through it and can help translate the intricacies of the game to you that you may not want to read about or spend the time figuring out yourself. Nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed this Elite Dangerous opinion video. If you guys did, clicking a like button helps out a great deal. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. We play a lot of space games on the channel. In particular, we focus a lot on Star Citizen with a new video coming out every single day at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that being said, don't forget to tag one of your favorite Elite Dangerous content creators in the comments below so I can reach out to them and see if they'll welcome me on board their multi-crew ship. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.